Hey everybody, I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. The U.S. Open is here in New York. It's going to be a great couple of weeks. Caty McNally here with us. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
You got it. What's it like being in New York right now?
It's awesome right now. We did a lot of practice, a lot of media, but it's been pretty hectic so far. So just trying to get this all out of the way and get ready for next week. Super excited.
And we were talking off camera, like this is just another tournament for you. Obviously it's the U.S. Open, but just kind of take me inside your mind and how you prepare for something that's going to be a really big thing for you.
Yeah, so I got the wild card into next week. I'm super excited, like I said, but I'm just going to try to treat it like every other tournament. I don't want everything to get to my head, really. So it'll be the same preparation like any other tournament that I play. Even though it's New York, the atmosphere is crazy. There's a lot of people, a lot of media. I just want to worry about my tennis, really, and just focus on that.
I feel you. So why don't we wind it back, because mom's a tennis player, your brother's a tennis player. Kind of feels like you didn't have another option besides tennis, but my question is, when did you realize that tennis could really be your thing going forward?
I think when I won the 12s Winter Nationals, that's when I really realized that I wanted to play tennis for the rest of my life. I didn't know at that point whether it was college or pro, but I actually turned pro in the beginning of this year in about March. So yeah, I grew up, my mom played tennis at Northwestern. She played a little bit on the pro tour in doubles, and then my brother also plays. He plays at Ohio State. So ever since I was young, I never was forced to play tennis. It was kind of just, I put a racket in my hand and I fell in love with it myself. And
so you were watching a lot of tennis growing up. I know Federer was obviously a big inspiration for you, but who were some of the people that you like to look up to?
I mean, Federer is probably one of the biggest inspirations for me, and he still is today. I always loved just the way that he carried himself on court, and I still try to do the same thing with myself. But I would say that he was probably the biggest inspiration for me.
I think it's pretty crazy because for both of us, like, we've grown up in a world where Roger Federer is playing into his 30s, Venus and Serena are still doing their thing. Like, that wasn't the norm in tennis. So to have these people still doing it, it's pretty remarkable. And I'm sure for you as a fellow player, you must be in awe of what is still going on today.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much respect for all the players that are still playing into their 30s. Hopefully, I can do the same thing with my career. It's definitely a journey, and it's not a race. I've definitely learned that, and the people supporting me and that back me up, they continue to tell me that it's not a race. It's just a very long process. But yeah, like I said, I have so much respect for them, and I luckily got to hit with Venus Williams last week in Cincinnati and talk to her a little. So that was amazing. That was an amazing experience for me.
What was the coolest part of that moment for you?
I think just sitting down on the bench with her after, in between games and everything, talking to her. We were bringing up age, and she was telling me that I shouldn't bring that up because she felt kind of old when I said some things about my age, but she was really chill and just a super nice woman.
You're like, yeah, Venus, I'm 17.
Yeah.
You know, just like, probably like, no, please don't do that
yes,
to me.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what she was like.
And she's still got game.
Yeah.
Still going on.
Very good.
Yeah, no question. So this has been a long burn for you because, like, you're doing your thing at 12s, and there's a lot of weekends, there's a lot of traveling. So what's it been like sacrificing and building this thing out?
Yeah, I've definitely sacrificed a lot. I went to public school actually all the way until my freshman year. So I kind of had that lifestyle of being a tennis player and just a student, but from there I'm now just a full-time tennis player. I still do school online, but I don't do everything that most kids my age do, but that's okay because I'm doing what I love every single day, and I have people that I love to be around. Kevin, for example, I love being around him so much, and my mom, so I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And what have you learned from Kevin so far in your time with him?
Kevin's probably one of the most positive people that I've ever been around constantly, whether I lose a tough match, if I don't play well, anything. He's always bringing out the good in me and trying to bring up the positives. He's told me that it's a long journey, and my mom continues to tell me that also. So one of the biggest things that you have to do is persevere. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, but you can get through those, and with the good people that I have around me, it's definitely possible.
So you are somebody that's had a lot of success playing in the junior tour. Yeah. When you make the decision to go pro, what goes into that, and why did you feel like you're ready at this point?
I think for me, it might have been a different story for a lot of people than other people because my parents were super strict with school, and I mean, I could have gone to any college probably in the country that I wanted to on a full ride. So it's not like I'm throwing that out the window. That's just an amazing opportunity, and for them, they don't really have to worry about like the financial side. So that wasn't an easy decision, and yeah, I had my agent looking at me for about 2 or 3 years trying to sign me at 14, and my parents kept pushing it back, and I actually couldn't thank them enough for doing that, because I think that was the best decision for me. I wasn't ready at that time. Even though my game was pretty good, I don't think I was ready for the non-tennis part, like mentally and all the media and everything that goes into it that a lot of people don't see.
Yeah, you're a 14-year-old girl. You're just trying to figure out life. There's a
Exactly.
lot going on here. So to go pro, that would have been insane, you know?
Yeah, I'm definitely super happy that I waited off until this year. I think it was good to get my pro ranking up. I didn't have one at the time before, so that was really important for me, and I think that'll help me try to get more brands to look at me.
I think for a lot of young women like yourself, like you kind of grow up a little bit faster than everybody else. When did you sense that for you? Because you're 17, but your life experiences are much different than the average 17-year-old girl. So when did that kind of flip for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe turning pro definitely flipped this big switch for me, because just being around the pro players all the time, being at the bigger events, I see how serious they take it, and you kind of realize, like, this is my living, this is my job for the rest of my life, so I want to be the best that I can be at it, and day in and day out I got to give 110% effort, and yeah, because this is what's paying the bills. It's not going to be my parents paying the bills the rest of my life. It's going to be me at one point, so.
Yeah, and it's probably freeing too to have this independence to say, hey, like financially I can support myself. There's a lot of people who can't say that, especially at age 17.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of work to do and a lot more money that I want to make, definitely, but hopefully one day I can easily support myself and have a family and support them too.
When you turn pro and you're starting to get some of these paychecks, was there any big thing that you got for yourself? Are you waiting off for that right now?
I think I'm waiting off for that. Maybe after New York. My parents are kind of strict with my money.
Your parents are really reining you in here, whether it's school, money. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. They're just looking out for me, and that money can go to more important things, but hopefully I can buy something nice for myself after this week.
Yeah, treat yourself at some point.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it feels like this is a really nice moment for teenagers playing American tennis, like whether it's you or Coco Gauff, but there's a ton of teenagers that are doing their thing. When did you start to sense like this was a special group? Was it like 12 or 13, or is it more of a recent thing?
I think the past couple years, with Coco getting to the finals of US Open at like 13 or 14, Amanda winning it, Whitney doing really well, that's when I got the sense that American tennis was starting to do really well. And just this past year, we've been doing amazing. I mean, Amanda got to the semifinals of Roland Garros. Whitney's been doing really well. Coco obviously got to the fourth round of Wimbledon. But like for me, and I think a lot of players, everyone's super happy for each other, but it kind of just fuels the fire and shows that you can do the exact same thing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm sure you're watching Coco and you're thinking to yourself like, hey, I've beaten Coco. Here she is. She's having a great moment. But that should give you confidence to say like, I could do this at some point. So what was it like for you to watch Coco specifically at Wimbledon?
That was amazing. I mean, really impressed with how she handled herself going out on center court. That definitely has to be, I mean, I'd be pretty nervous, I think, and I'm sure she was too, but she handled the moment amazing, and I'm super happy for her. I think she's an awesome girl on and off the court. We get along super well. But like I said, yeah, I think she handled the moment really well, and it just shows me that I can do the same thing. It's just a matter of time. And
you guys have played together, so when did you guys first meet up? What's the backstory there?
So I think I met Coco the first time in Orlando about a couple years ago. We were both at a training camp. Then we didn't really talk too much. We played this event in England last year, and we played doubles for the first time. They put us together just to play a friendly match against Great Britain, and we ended up winning like 6-0, 6-1.
You bageled them.
And we knew it like then that it just clicked. Like we had this chemistry that was amazing, and we decided to play at US Open last year in the juniors, and we ended up winning the whole tournament. And then we played City Open this year. First WTA together, and we won that, and super excited to play with her again here.
And there's some players that can just do singles and doubles, it doesn't really work out. You're one of those players that kind of does both. So how does your mindset change going from singles to doubles and just balancing both of those?
I think my mindset's kind of the same. Maybe the only thing is I'm a little bit better to myself during doubles because I don't want to let my partner down, honestly. But the way I was raised, singles and doubles are kind of the same. If you don't get a lot of singles matches in, you can go out in doubles and practice, and it can carry over to singles, which is something I learned because I was doing really well in doubles during juniors, and then at one point I got to the finals of French Open. It kind of just all clicked for me. I started to do better in singles, but I kind of treat both the same, and I both think they're really important for the game.
So for people that haven't seen your game, what would you say are your biggest strengths right now?
I would describe my game as an all-court player, but I like coming into the net. I try to end the point at the net, be aggressive, pretty big first serve, and then serve +1. That's probably my biggest play, and then I try to get into net and the point at the net.
So you turned pro, and when you think back to where you were then to where you are now, what are some of the differences in your game?
I think that I've just been working on my game a lot day in and day out, just trying to improve the little things, tweak the little things, and I think I'm going to continue to do that because I'm not going to just completely change my game. I love the way I play, and my coaches love the way I play, and they back it up 100%. So I think it's just keep working on the little things, the volleys, the approach shots that will make me better and will be better in the bigger moments.
So you're somebody that's been in the American circuit as a young tennis player for many years. It feels like overseas, like players are really starting young, and we talk about it a lot in American men's tennis, like we're waiting for that one great guy to come out of the ranks. We haven't seen that yet. So when you think about the American system, what has worked so far, and what do you think benefits some of the players overseas?
Well, I think for the Americans, just everyone that's doing super well, like I said, that kind of just fuels everyone else, and I think that's why there's so much success, because when one person does well, it kind of just shows everyone else that they can do the same. For the guys, I mean, there's obviously some really good American guys. I think it's just a matter of time until it's kind of like a breakthrough, and they'll do the same as the girls.
And I think it kind of takes years to develop too. It's not just going to be 2-3 years down the road, because like for your class, like you watch Venus and Serena, but it was years and years after that before you have this whole crop of players coming up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it wasn't like this a couple years ago with me, Coco, Whitney. We weren't really as well known as we are, I guess, now. So for the guys, I think, like I said, it's a matter of time. Give it a couple years, and then we'll probably start to see some bigger results.
Definitely. So you mentioned hitting with Venus. How about seeing Serena and what she's been able to do with her career? When you watch her, what's most inspiring about her game?
I mean, she's an inspiration, I think, to everyone. One thing that I admire most is just coming back after having a baby. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous and insane, and I respect her a lot for that, because she knew she wasn't ready, and she knew she wanted more, and she had more inside of her. And I think when the time's right, she'll know, and that's when she'll hang up her rackets. But for right now, I mean, she's still such a good player, so much power, and can do a lot of damage on the tour still. Yeah,
I mean, she almost died of blood clots. Like, think about that
crazy.
For a second. You watch Being Serena on HBO, and you're just like, wow, there's a lot that went into that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she just has so much fight and so much passion in her, and I respect that a lot out of her.
Definitely. So when you think about going into next week, what are some of the big things that you want to have happen, and what's most important for you when you get on the court?
Well, next week, I just really want to enjoy it. I don't want to put any pressure on myself, win or lose. I just want to go out there and enjoy the moment, because I'm only 17, you know. You never know what's going to happen. It's just an unbelievable experience, and I'm really looking forward to getting it started. And you got some online classes to look forward to as well, right? I know you're super excited about school starting again. Yeah, I have school starting next Monday, and I'm taking some college classes, so got to get those in on time. So it's going to be a little tough, and it's going to be a struggle balancing those, but I have my coach with me, so hopefully he can help me out with some of that. So you do like to take a little break from tennis. When you do, what are some things that kind of just free your mind and escape? What do you like to do? I honestly love watching Netflix, just laying in bed. I think that's something that a lot of tennis players like to do, just because we're constantly moving, practicing, traveling. It's so nice to just be able to lay down and just let your mind relax and just watch Netflix. You watching anything good? Black Mirror. Ooh. Yeah, I love Black Mirror. It's every episode is different, and it's just crazy, honestly. If you like that, you like The Twilight Zone too, which is on CBS All Access. Okay, yeah, I've watched The Twilight Zone. Okay, yeah, because the old ones are on Netflix, and then the new ones are coming out too. So. Yeah, my coach actually started watching them, and he watches them all the time, so I started to watch too, and I enjoyed it. So you really like to just go way out there, like as far away from reality as possible? Definitely, yeah, it's totally different, and it's not what it's like in real life, but I really enjoy it, so. I feel you. Well, Caty, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. Catch Caty at the US Open. That's Caty, I'm DJ. We'll see you next time here on The Sit Down.